Hello. It is time for people to have government answer to them. I am so sick and tired of listening to people that we put in office to serve us that take advantage of us. I'm just not used to people taking advantage of me and not being able to do anything about it. And we've gotten ourselves in a position where we wanted the smartest people in Congress, in the judicial branch, and if we can get them in the presidency. And the first thing that these people do is they start looking at numbers. And when they see the amount of money that they have control over and the influence that they wield with no oversight from the people, well, then they start making plans. That's what smart people do. They make plans to make sure that they never have to worry about working again in life. And what happens to the people who put them in office? Well, who do you think they put first? Their families or you? I have not seen poor, and when I say poor, Republican or Democratic congressman or representative live on a meager $167,000. Or if they voted themselves up on another raise, $200,000. They all seem to be living a life beyond their means. And if that is not the case, then we have these people that come around that sponsor or actually working for very rich people, trillionaires and billionaires, and they come around and they start spreading their money around so that they can make the laws. Now, it might seem a little far-fetched, but we all know that I talked to you about a statement about a man made. He said, I care not who makes the laws, just give me the money of the nations. And you know what? He didn't have to say that he'll make the laws because he knows everybody wants money. They'll sell their soul for money. Okay? And so one of the things that legislators are always having to make deals, not just on the floor, but off the floor. They tell me that they had a discussion tonight, and they always have their meetings most of the time when you're not going to pay attention to it. They were discussing whether congressmen or representatives need to be able or should be able to have businesses with over 500 people in it while they're actually in Congress, okay? Because I don't understand how we don't put these things together. You have to be rich in order for you to be able to spread the wealth around and let people know that you're running for office. You know, so you're not going to come in there poor. And yes, people sponsor you and they do all types of things, and that's how you get yourself in trouble because people who give you money expect something for that money. But the fact is, most politicians, that's a family business. It goes all the way back to their grandfathers and stuff like that, okay, or lawyers who know the law, okay? And just thinking about this, it makes me sick because they're going to have information about the government, about crypto, about money, federal, decisions that's going to be made, and they can take advantage of that information to make money. And we know it's happening, but we don't do anything about it. So a lot of that falls on us. When is the last time you even saw a poor pastor or priest? I mean, we have to be serious here. The only poor people you see are yourselves when you're looking in the mirror. Now, I'm going to tell you something. We are at fault when we don't make people respond to our needs. Ice Cube said it beautiful. You don't vote just to vote. You vote to get something. Okay? If you're not getting nothing, well, what the hell you voting for? And now, we didn't let somebody in their office, and the last time he left out of office, he was well off. I mean, he's always had money, but this time he's lined himself up with Bill Gates and Elon Musk. We all talking about billionaires here. What makes you think that a billionaire knows anything about your plight? Okay? You think that they're going to allow their children to go to school with you? No, they're going to use your money to educate their children, because rich people don't use their money to make money. They use other people's money. That's why you have such a big hole in Social Security now. And now they want to cut back on Medicare and everything else. But I think all of that's a ploy because they've already messed that money up. The second thing is they want to start a war, because war is big business for trillionaires and billionaires and people that's rich, because then they set their companies up to make weapons to fight those wars. And usually they play both sides against each other and make money from both sides. And guess who fights the wars? Your sons and daughters. You don't see rich men going out there fighting the war. They'll start a war. I heard a congressman up in actually Washington talking about what they need to do to Palestine. And now they're talking about they want to recolonize Africa. And when they say that, you might as well say they're talking about recolonizing America again. You know what I'm saying? Because, okay, your Africans then got too free. Your Black Americans then got too free. Your Negroes then got too free. They don't know their place no more. And, a lot of people will look at that and they'll think, that's humorous. But it's not going to be humorous in about a year. Maybe not even that long. Okay? And I thank a lot of people for using their head. You already know that we're on a system, and that system is a 30-day system. Okay? Every 30 days, you're supposed to go pay your taxes, not to the IRS, but the people who own everything. And if you don't pay those mortgages, rents, car payments, and everything else, they will take it from you. You're in a vicious cycle, scared to start a business or do anything for yourself. That's why they do things like destroy Black Wall Street. And they had several Black Wall Streets. But I'm just talking about a few. And I'm talking about maybe, having the courage to stand up and tell people that you're not going to take it no more. But that's on you. A lot of us who are older, we won't be around to see the travesty and the things that, we know are coming. I wish y'all the best of luck. Now, I have a little longer on this because I just cut off my 10 minutes that I get on TikTok. That was then, this is now. This is very serious. I'm going to stop talking about how people of color need to get together because we're so messed up. You know, we got some of our people in our perspective, what we call perspective. You can't say races, but communities. Let's use communities: European, Latino, Asian, however you want to call it. But understand one thing: all of y'all are just different hues. You're just different colors, okay? And some of you understand that you all come from the color black. And you know, that's really something that really pisses you off. It makes you hate black people even more, okay? But one of the things that I know for people of color, when they put down the hate, they're going to find out they only have one enemy. And that's the enemy they've always had, the one that, you know, did some awful things to your great, 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 great grandfathers, grandmothers. You understand? Black Africans weren't the only ones treated the way that they were treated. But what happened is longevity is where the difference is. You talk about what happened in the Holocaust, and everybody's up in arms. You know, you talk about what happened to the Jews, you know, and you know, people start crying. I don't like what happened to them, but you know, I had to be selfish. What happened to them might have lasted what, a year? We're talking about centuries of abuse and breeding and working for nothing, and nobody still doesn't want to give us something, you know. And you know, you're not giving anything because we've already earned it. And not just because we already earned it, it's because we are the root of the tree of humanity, and you come from us. But that's probably why you don't want us to know who we are, anything about our history, anything that will give us a reason to wake up and challenge this system, because you know we have the power in order to do it. And you're willing to destroy this world if you can't have it. But guess what? Destroy it then. Because, you know, I know there are a lot of people that refuse to go backwards. And forward we go, no matter what the obstacle is. Okay? No matter if we have to fight the Chinese, you know, the Latino, you know, whomever, the European, he's always fought. But he used to fight against himself, Britain and Ireland against the Highlanders, you know, until they got sense enough to realize that if we just come together, we could take over this world. And that's exactly what they did. They whitewashed history, okay? Buried history so deep, shot noses off of Sphinx, stole as much of history as they could from African civilizations, and people thought that they destroyed it, but no, they went and created secret societies and everything else, okay? And now they use the things that were for us against us. But the worst thing that they could have ever done to us was to turn our minds against us, to condition us in such a manner that we don't even know right from wrong anymore, and we only want to be just like our master. We act like, that pet that sit right by you and just want you to pet him on the head, and that's stupid. Because that same person, he get mad with that dog, he kicked the hell out of him. And you've been kicked so many times that you're starting to love it. And you hate what you're looking at. When you look in the mirror. And you're not the only one, no. See, secretly, the European can't get away from the thought that he's so powerful, he's supposed to be the God of this universe and everything else, but his genes are recessive. He's weak, okay? He doesn't like that, so he'll pump all the weights he can and everything else, but guess what? The only thing he can do is pop out white babies. We make any color. We have done it. It's been proven. And just the other day, I wanted to give you some more of it, but I know you can only take it in small bites. Japan, Chinese, not Italians. I don't know why the Italians hate us. We the one that gave you civilization by the Moors, for over 700 years when you were living in the Dark Ages too. And then the Moors came over there and taught you things that you never saw before. Hygiene and all that. They did that in England. They did that in Italy and wherever they went. And for that, you enslaved them and made them your bondservants, your slaves. And a lot of that is on us because we invited you into the country, just like the Indian invited you into the country, not knowing what type of child you were, okay? And you acted in a very demonic way, raping, killing everything that you saw, taking whatever you want without asking, and doing things that no other human being that I know of has done. And nobody wants to tell you anything because you're sitting on your high perch behind the curtain, most of you, and you are calling the shots for most of these nations. There was a man with a big old plan. He's not the man, but he had a plan. And he sent his sons to different parts of this world so that they could take over the banking system. And that plan worked to perfection. But they're not the kings of this world. They're not the true rulers of this world, but they're up there with them. I want to know how in the hell people can even justify having over 2 million acres of land, and the government knows about it, city police and everybody, and you looking for a place to put homeless people. See, nobody should own the earth because indigenous people lived in harmony with the earth. This is why you know that you cannot be a friend to some people, because if they can't live in harmony with nature, how in the hell are they going to live in harmony with you? And they're not thinking about being your friend. In fact, they're thinking about us annihilation. And then that might be our that might be our fate. But I don't think so. I actually make a call out to my brothers and sisters in the Asian community. And I'm not talking about you hateful people that they've already got your mind. That goes for black, white, pink, yellow, green, whatever you are. If you've already dedicated your heart, your mind, and your soul to the European, you stay right over there with him. Don't come over here in this community because, you know, I understand our elders said we have to talk to you, but you know, when somebody sticks you in the back one time, why in the hell would you give them a second opportunity? Now, I didn't expect to talk to us too long, but I wanted to say some things to you because, you know, this is a show and a news, I would say, news editorial, current events, past events, and just truth to some people who want to listen and hear it. The truth is in the books that you don't want to read. And if you don't want to read them, then pay attention to some of the things I say. Don't believe me, just check out what I'm saying. Okay? But one thing I do know, if you fuss, please let us know. And if you're not, then go to hell somewhere else. And I told y'all the other day, I don't ask you for too much or nothing. But I do ask for your support, just like I sit out here and I take the time to do certain things that I think that I have been spiritually led to do, because right now we don't have anybody out there trying to do nothing for our people. And sometimes they don't want our help. You don't want my help sometimes, but I'm going to tell you anyway, because there are some young people out there and we need them, because sooner or later, people like myself will have to get in the back of the bus and let these youngsters drive. But you know, we're going to have to give them as much nourishment as we can, just like we did when they were a baby, just like they did us. Okay? Now, I really do care about my community. I just don't have to sit down here and try to baby people and try to be something that I'm not. You know, I wanted to change up some things, you know, and do some fixing up to try to please y'all, you know, but I said, I'm not trying to please you. I'm going to give you the message that I was sent to give you. And if you like it, you like it. And if you don't, you don't. But this is the last thing I got to say on any of that. You know the truth when you hear it. And if you don't do anything about it, you deserve whatever we get. Okay? And I'll have to suffer with you, because thick or thin, you know, I'm in the wind. And so however the cards go, I'm through. I'm with you to the end.